If you were to project ahead, let's say maybe 5 years, how would you describe the incorporation landscape?
We have various projectors, we have so many visionaries. They'll tell you 2 years, 3 years, or maybe 5 years from now, this is what the UAE would look like, this is how it's going to be.
Welcome to Incorporate with Confidence, powered by Commitbiz, the podcast where we simplify business setup in the UAE and share insider insights from over a decade of experience.
Allwell, so UAE has built its reputation as one of the fastest growing hubs for the entrepreneurs. According to your experience, what are the essence for incorporation here?
That's an amazing question. But first of all, one should know that there are various perspectives that shapes this essence. Okay. Basically, I feel it depends on each respective entrepreneurs. Okay, they might see the UAE from a different perspective.
Okay.
But based on my experience in this particular field, I will just highlight some perspectives holistically. Right. For example, UAE stands as a crossroad to global and regional markets. Okay, for someone that is willing to trade or export his or her products, for such entrepreneur could consider the UAE, because the UAE is more like a bridge to the GCC region and also to the Middle East and North Africa. Okay, recently the UAE has also traversed into the European sector as well by exporting services and also exporting goods as well. Okay, another aspect you might want to look at that shapes this perspective is something known as structural flexibility. Okay, structural flexibility in what sense? For example, if someone is perplexed by the nature of activity or with the nature of activity they are looking to set up or do in the UAE, we can come towards the structural flexibility ambit. For example, we've got various jurisdictions like the mainland, the free zone area, offshore, the DIFC, ADGM. There isn't anything or nature of activity someone wants to do that will not fall within this jurisdiction. And most importantly, before I forget, is the aspect of fiscal incentives, that's tax incentives. With the advent of the corporate tax now, and wherein the profit margin has been pegged beneath the 375,000 AED margin, it is very, very much attractive for investors to come to the UAE to do their businesses, because if you're not making profit exceeding that amount, it's a good thing for you. Invariably, it means you're not paying taxes. And lastly, no investor would want to come to an environment where there is apathy, political strife. So the UAE prides itself as a nation with political stability. Okay. So the UAE is stable politically, and it is also economically viable. So for a country to possess these features, definitely potential investors globally would see this as a very intriguing perspective to explore.
So that's a very strong perspective, Allwell. We see a lot of companies, over 1,000 of companies incorporating every year in the UAE. So how would you describe the landscape of incorporation here?
Again, that's a very interesting question. The landscape in the UAE is a very broad term. Most people would want to look at it from a business activity, or rather a classification of business activities or legal structures perspective. But if I would want to look at it, given the level of experience I've garnered in this particular field, I would start with the mainland and the free zone integration. Okay, because now the way business is flowing in the UAE, that's the fluidity of business in the UAE, there is a push from the free zone into the mainland. We now see situations wherein free zone company are now entering into the mainland, doing their business seamlessly. So this is a very fundamental aspect that will shape the landscape in the UAE business. Another thing, now incorporation process is now becoming so seamless. Everything is now digitalized. There is now ease of doing things. With a click of your button on the internet, you can get your company incorporated, even if you're located inside the UAE or outside the UAE. Okay. So practically, I think these are key fundamentals that shapes the landscape of the UAE business.
Okay, okay. I think there is a lot of competition now in the market. What is it that is shaping this competitiveness?
Yes, competition abides in various parts of the world, not just the UAE. But before proceeding and telling you why there is a competition and perhaps how to avert this tussle, or rather this competition, we'd have to look at certain factors that might facilitate this competition. For example, the UAE prides itself as a very politically stable environment, economically viable environment, financially guaranteed environment. More so, last year the UAE was lifted off the grey list. Okay, so what this means is the UAE is now trustworthy globally when it comes to businesses, when it comes to finances. So if you're an investor, if you want to do business, you look at a particular settings wherein you know, if I come to these settings, my life is guaranteed, my properties is guaranteed, my finances are guaranteed. Okay, these are the key things people look at before coming to the UAE.
Correct.
So for me to like it, it means all other persons, potential investors would like it as well. Hence the competition. Okay, now for a new entrepreneur coming into the UAE, depending on the type of business he would want to do, then we can then assess the level of competition. Okay, because there are certain aspects that that highlights how competitive a market will be for a potential entrepreneur. So what it means is it's case-to-case basis. For example, if I'm a potential entrepreneur, I'm saying I want to delve into the real estate industry or the corporate services provider industry, it is going to be tricky for me if I don't do my homework very well, because these two industries are lighted below are extremely saturated.
Correct.
Because there are key players already there. So how do I change the paradigm? How do I change the shift? What do I do? How do I go forward? Okay. The thing is, if you're saying I want to go into certain unique industry that is not so popular, it means you're setting the pace for that particular industry. Competitiveness will be reduced. But again, it is possible to come into the real estate or corporate service provider industry and still thrive. Okay, I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm only saying it might be difficult, but with hard work, it is penetrable. It is not impenetrable.
Correct. Okay, that's really good. What would you advise someone who wants to enter the market today?
Okay, when you say someone who wants to enter the market, advices abounds. One, as a business consultant, I'll first of all advise you on compliance, because you need to be fully compliant for you to legally carry out an active business. Okay, I speak to lots of potential investors every day looking to set up their businesses in the UAE, and there is one fundamental thing that flows amongst all of them. Okay, and that is thinking, should I go into this? Should I do this? What if I fail? What if I don't succeed? So many things runs through their mind. The thing is, life is like that. You just have to give it a shot. So I always tell them, don't dwell in procrastination. Okay, because procrastination, in most cases, leads to doubt and subsequently disbelief. Just go deep into a particular field. Don't go broad. Streamline your business activity. Do your proper homework. Get in there. The UAE has already provided a very sustainable, viable, economically, and a very strong environment for anyone with the guts and willingness to succeed.
Correct. If you were to project ahead, let's say maybe 5 years, how would you describe the incorporation landscape?
We have various projectors. We have so many visionaries. They'll tell you 2 years, 3 years, or maybe 5 years from now, this is what the UAE would look like. This is how it's going to be. So what I'll do, or perhaps how I'll answer this question is this. I will flow with the current trend, then based on what is currently happening in the market, then I will subjectively anticipate what the future would look like. Okay, because if you look at it very well, the UAE is delving into a more digitalized system. AI is taking charge of so many things. So what it means is potentially there is going to be lots of incorporations, lots of business setups in the future. Again, who will be setting up this business? Manpower reduction will be there because AI is now in place. The scare is investors might as well start setting up these companies themselves. There will be a time wherein they may not need the services of experts. But God forbid that happens, because experts are the front runners of this industry. And with them, I think there is going to be more credibility in the industry. Also, another aspect is this. I am actually projecting that there's going to be more free zones springing up.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be more free zones springing up, and by this, there's going to be lots of competitiveness, lot of competitions within various free zones. There are going to be lots of incentives. I know there are certain incentives that are bounced now, lots of incentives are there, but in the future, they're going to be so much of them, and it's going to be super great. And again, maybe most investors may not like this, but globally, for people doing business legally, doing business the right way, doing business appropriately, and want to garner funds or finance legally, okay, the UAE will definitely be a very strict jurisdiction. Subjectively, that's why I said definitely, because the compliance is being tightened as time passes. Regulations are being made to ensure that compliance are adequately done. For example, now there's now been UBO applicable to almost all entities. UBO disclosures, okay? And from UBO disclosures, what does this mean? It means your accounting, your annual accounting, the reporting system, the auditing needs to be properly done, within which, if they are not done, fines could be applicable. But again, I wouldn't say this would be a bottleneck for potential investors, because around the globe, based on my experience, the places I've traversed, it's how things are supposed to be done. The key thing people should be worried about, should be happy about is this. Is the UAE environment economically viable? Yes, it is. Is it politically stable? Yes, it is. Are the tax incentives attractive? Yes, it is. Am I assured? Am I secured? Yes, you're secured.
Very well said.